What's up, everybody? Trip Smith here, and in this video we're going to talk about my C-Dory. Don't y'all like my shirt? I get a lot of questions about the boat. I love getting questions about the boat. I really do, because I love the boat, and I think I might have found the best, most affordable cruising boat for me and my point of life now, and I think for a lot of other people out there who are wanting to get into cruising but don't want to spend a lot of money and want a boat that can do a lot of things. Now, I've got a few different categories of things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about efficiency, affordability, versatility, comfort, improvability, and the negatives, all right? This is a video that I've been wanting to make, but recently I got some emails from some folks asking some questions. Here's what they had to say. This is from, we're just going to say Charlie C. He said, Trip, I've been looking at the C-Dory 22 Cruiser, which is the model I have, the 22 Cruiser, for a while too. Tell me what you like and don't like about the boat when you have a minute. I'm interested in 7 to 10 day river trips with this boat. Great. Then we got another email from Douglas H. He said, hey man, can you give me some info on the C-Dory? I'm going to sell my Catalina 22, which coincidentally is like the most popular trailer sailboat there is. And I want something me and my family can enjoy camping on. Would my F-150 with the V8 pull it? Either way, what's up with the boat? Alright, let's get into it. So the first category we're going to cover is efficiency and towing. Now the boat tows really well. It's a lightweight boat. That is due to the design and the build of the boat. It's just a lightweight platform. I've been pulling my C-Dory 22 with my Toyota Tacoma 4-wheel drive V6. I think the towing capacity is at like 6,600 pounds, and I believe the boat is estimated to weigh, well, boat, trailer, and motors, and when you have your tanks full, about 4,000 pounds, but it really depends on just how full your tanks are, how much tankage you have, how much gear you have on there, you know, what your motor setup is. There's a lot of factors that can determine what your final towing weight is, but if you figure around 4,000 or 4,500 on the upper end, you should be pretty good for a Cruiser 22. So one of the efficiencies when it comes to that is you get decent fuel mileage when you're towing the boat. Now you also get pretty good fuel mileage when the boat is moving through the water. One of the first things that I did with my boat is I repowered it from twin 50 horsepower motors to a single 115 motor. And man, I love it. Now whenever I did that upgrade, one thing it did is it shaved a lot of weight off the rear of the boat. I think I lost about 150 pounds. Now along with shaving that weight off when it comes to fuel economy through the water, I also took one motor out of the water, one prop out of the water, all these things that create drag and slow you down in the water and require more fuel to push the boat through the water. So I got a little bit more efficient with that. Now, I took a 100-mile trip on the boat. Totally awesome. Cool video. You guys need to watch it if you haven't seen it. And I calculated my fuel usage after that. I've averaged about 5.12 miles per gallon. That's what I was getting, and this was at a cruising speed. I was averaging about 17 mile an hour, maybe 20 mile an hour or so. And that was cruising through smooth water and also through some rollers, kind of out in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if you look at other boats' fuel economy, that is really good. Most boats might get 1 or 2, especially boats in this size that are going to provide the things that the C-Dory provides, that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Now, why does a C-Dory get better fuel economy than most boats? Well, there's a few reasons. The boat is lightweight. It is built to be light. Now, just because it's light doesn't mean that it isn't seaworthy or it's not tough, because it certainly is. The boat has been proven for years and years and years to be an awesome, very tough boat. One of the ways that the boat and the hull is lighter is it doesn't have a liner in it. Like a normal boat will have the actual hull that you see from the outside, but it'll also have kind of another hull on the inside of the boat, where all your seats and all your whatever the walls on the inside are formed with, right? Well, the C-Dory doesn't have that. Basically, when you're inside the boat, what you're touching on the floor, what you're touching on the walls, that is the outside of the hull. There's just one layer there, which is fine. The boat also has a flat bottom, which maybe help with weight a little bit, but also that flat bottom can move through the water a lot better. It creates less drag through the water. You don't have to move as much water out of the way to get the boat going. And the boat gets up on plane at a slow speed, so it just makes it just a fuel efficiency monster. And then with that fuel efficiency comes some other weight savings, like you don't have to have as big of fuel tanks to go as far, so you're not carrying as much weight whenever you start your trip. Some boats, I don't know, you may have 150 gallons or 200-gallon tank. Well, I think the fuel capacity in my boat, I know it actually, it's 52 gallons, and that is without me carrying any extra fuel. So that is pretty good. Now, if we had bigger motors, if we had a bigger boat, if we had more drag, we would need more fuel on board and larger tanks. That would create more weight and just, just work against us when it comes to fuel economy. Next up is affordability. This is one of the big things that drew me to the boat because I wanted something that, gave me all of the luxuries and stuff that the C-Dory Cruiser 22 provides, but I didn't want to pay an astronomical amount for it. So, you could get a C-Dory 22 similar to my boat. Mine's a 2003 model. No, 2003 or 13. It's a 2003. My truck's a 13. Get that right, Trip. Now, I did put a new, pretty expensive Yamaha 115 on there, so that kind of ups my cost a little bit. But, really and truly, if you bought a boat that had good motors, like there are some out there that still have good original motors, because I've been on one, you can get those boats for, I would say around 30 grand these days, because the prices of boats have gone up, especially the prices of C-Dories have kind of gone up popularity. I don't know if it's because of my videos, maybe not. I like to think it is, but for 30 grand, you can get a boat about my age, or the age of my boat, with the original motors. So if you're looking at one of these boats used, you can go into the $25,000 to $40,000 range, and you can get a really good boat in that range, especially, the upper kind of $40,000 range. That would get you about to what I have with a new motor and things like that, which I think is pretty important. It's peace of mind up here, which is very valuable to me. Now, affordability, like I said, is what set this boat apart for me. Now, there are other boats that are similar. You have Parker boats, which are similar, but they aren't quite the same. They're going to cost a whole lot more. They're a heavier boat. They're going to require you to have a more heavy-duty tow vehicle. The fuel economy, while you're towing, it's not going to be as good. The fuel economy in the water isn't as good. If you need to repower it, you have to put bigger motors on it because it's a bigger, heavier boat with a deep V bottom. So it's just, it's not going to move through the water as efficient. You're not going to get that good fuel economy. And if you have to repower the boat, you're going to have to put bigger motors on there, right? Which cost a lot more. There aren't many boats in the 22-foot range that can move really well with a 115 horsepower motor. Now, really and truly, most folks, they run a 90 horsepower outboard on their C-Dory 22 Cruiser. But the design of the C-Dory makes that where that's feasible because of the flat bottom, because of the lightweight boat. It's just, it's a great setup. Next up, let's talk about versatility. Now, this was a big thing for me. I wanted something versatile. Now, whatever I call versatile may not be what you call versatile. What I call versatile is I want to be able to go just about anywhere. And this C-Dory can do it. Now, the draft is only about 8 inches. Boom. That is not much. So you can go in shallow water. You guys have seen in my videos where I pull the sucker right up onto the beach. And it is so nice to be able to literally step off the back of the boat onto the beach or right into less than knee-deep water. It's a pretty cool thing. Now, not only with that, can you go in shallow water, but you can also go in pretty rough water with a sucker. I mean, it is a very, very seaworthy boat. These boats have a good history of doing big trips like the Great Loop, which is, I forget how many miles it is. It's several thousands of miles to do this huge loop around the eastern United States. But you can even take these boats to the Bahamas. I mean, you could take them offshore for some serious fishing. I mean, my boat came originally from Alaska, or that's where it was originally purchased. That's where the original owner had it. And then, if there's boats up there that are working in Alaska, it's got to be a tough boat, right? So, I mean, there's a tell what those guys get into. So if the C-Dories can make it up there, and they're very popular up there, by the way, they wouldn't be up there if they weren't a good seaworthy boat. And they certainly are. I've had mine in some pretty good shop, and it's fine. You're just sitting in that cabin, you're great. I'm telling you, it's great. So not only can you take the C-Dory on these big offshore trips and things like that, if that's what you want to do, but you can also go into some shallow waters, which includes springs and rivers and the flats, all that kind of good stuff you can get in there with this C-Dory. So that's super versatile in my eyes. Now, another big factor that I didn't realize was going to be such a great factor was the comfort of the boat. Oh my goodness, it's so great to be able to get inside the cabin and be protected from the elements, whether that be the sun, the wind, the rain, the cold, the heat. I mean, I'm telling you, when you're in the pilot house, it is so nice in there. You don't have to, I don't even wear sunblock much anymore. But when I was on my skiff, oh my goodness, the sun would just always beat down on me. All right, we're chasing a rabbit. And of course, one of the big things for me was you could sleep on board in this cabin, no matter what the weather, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be protected in here. You're going to be comfortable in there. You have a table. You've got somewhere to cook. I mean, you got somewhere to sit and cruise in comfort, jamming to the radio while you're cruising down the intercoastal or cruising across the Gulf of Mexico. Wherever you're going in comfort. I mean, it's so nice. Now, while we're on versatility, let's talk about people use these things as a land-based camper. Yeah, I've even used mine as a camper. I've slept on land, like 9 or 10 nights. It's pretty cool. There's even people who take these boats and use them as a camper on their cross-country trip. It's pretty cool, pretty crazy, but I mean, it's such a lightweight platform. It's not a big deal to tow it, and it's a pretty comfortable cabin, so you can do things like that. I mean, people may be like, what in the world are they doing when you pull in an RV park or something, but whatever. Hey, you're out there doing it. That's what matters, right? Next up, let's talk about the improvability of the boat. Now, what I mean about this are what are some things that you can add to the boat to make it even better? And when I say better, I say specifically better than mine. A lot of people, they have air conditioners on these boats. Yeah, you get like a little slimline RV air conditioner, put on top of the cabin. You get you a Honda 2000 generator, put it on the back, and you're set. You are rocking and rolling. You're living in luxury. I mean, you're living like the folks on the mega yacht, in my opinion. When you have air conditioner on the water and you're not plugged in to shore power, man, that's pretty cool. Now, that might be something I do to my boat in the future, but right now I really just like it being simple and just lighter weight and just, I don't know, just less things to go wrong, less things to break. But there's so many people out there who do that. There's so many boats that are available. Well, not so many boats that are available because they're hard to find, but there are boats that come up available from time to time, the C-Dories, the 22s, that have air conditioners on them. Pretty cool. Really pretty cool. Now, the flat roof on top is pretty cool. You can store stuff up there, but one thing you can put up there is solar panels. A lot of people do that. So that's something that I'm actually working on for my boat, is a way to get some solar panels up there so on my long-range trips, I don't have to worry about electricity. Now, you can go and see that and learn more about the C-Dories over at the Seabrats forums. Now, that's also a great place if you're looking for a C-Dory to buy one. A used one, that's where you need to go. That's where I found my boat. That's where most C-Dory owners know of this group and just are aware of this. And it's really kind of a, I don't want to say tight-knit community, but it kind of is a tight-knit community. It's not like a clique or a club where, you know, an exclusive where if you're not a C-Dory, blah, 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 you can't be part of it. Because the first time that I saw C-Dories in real life, I was on my skiff and I attended a C-Dory rally. The rendezvous. It was so cool. There were so many C-Dories there. I got to go on board a bunch of them before I made my purchase. It was just very, very awesome. So if you're interested in a used C-Dory, I would highly suggest checking out Seabrats and seeing if you can get to one of their gatherings and see these boats in person, because they're totally awesome. All right, now on to the negatives. Well, there aren't really many negatives, and I've used my boat quite a bit. I've got several hundred miles under my belt, and there aren't many negatives. If there is one, I really don't consider it a negative, but you know, due to the flat bottom design and the light weight of the boat, if it's choppy, if it's really rough out there, you just have to slow down. You can't be going 30, 40 miles an hour through chop on the boat because, you know, the bottom of the hull will slap the waves and, you know, it's not a great experience. And, you know, if you do it enough, it may break something. So you just have to slow down. Now, what I have found is that my boat can cruise at about 17 mile an hour in some decent chop, and it's comfortable, it's bearable. Now, if you slow it down to even 15, you know, you can really go through anything, and it's not bad at all. Reading through forums and Facebook groups and stuff and posts about the boat, you know, a lot of people kind of knock the boat for this, but really and truly, if I sit back and think about it, okay, if I'm sitting in comfort in this nice cabin, I'm not in a big rush to get anywhere, right? I mean, really and truly. And even if I were in a bigger, nicer, heavier boat that can take this chop better, would I really be going that much faster? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe so. But to me, just having to go at a little bit slower speed, which still isn't that slow, is just one thing you have to consider. But I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think you need to worry about it. Totally worth it. Now, if you're interested in these boats, you want to get a new one, which would be amazing. You can get one. I think a new one, depending on the motor and the different options that you include and the trailer and all that nonsense, you could be up in the 100 grand range pretty easy for one of these boats. I feel like there are a lot of people out there whose needs align with what this boat provides. I really, really think so. I think it might be the perfect, affordable cruising boat. Seriously, I think it probably is because it's so amazing. I don't know. I gotta quit saying that. If you have any further questions, you can contact me over at tripsmith.live/contact. I love talking about C-Dories, as you can tell by this video. But really, I love talking about anything on the water that we can go do an adventure on. And if you are on the hunt for a C-Dory, I wish you the best of luck. You better have your money ready, because whenever one of these goes up for sale, they usually go pretty quick. I know I had to jump on mine quick, and I had to drive, I forgot how many, it was a long way, over 10 hours. It was 12 hours. It was so far I had to go to get it, but it was well worth it, and I love my boat dearly. All right, folks, take care of yourselves, and I hope you enjoy this little tidbit. I hope you can get out there and enjoy the water however you want to for your adventure and live the life you want to live. All right, folks, get out there. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video. Love ya.